Hi, I recently made a spreadsheet for the enemy HP numbers that Valkyrie and Skadi looping can handle. It's helped me a lot so far, so I thought I'd share it. You'll probably be able to understand the sheet, there's a link in the description, but this video will explain the looping strategies and clarify how to read the tables. There are timestamps in the description if you want to skip ahead. Starting with skills that you need, Valkyrie's first and third skills should be maxed. Their third skill is their most important skill for looping. It gives 5% to 10% NP gauge per turn. And their first is a 3-turn quick boost and NP damage boost, which is a good damage increase and also helps a bit with NP generation. Skadi's first and third skills again should be maxed. Her third is a 30% to 50% NP charge, and her first is a 30 to 50% quick boost. Her second skill is a sizable defense down skill that you'll want to save for the third turn unless you need it in the first 2 turns to loop. All of the team compositions in the sheet use double Skadi, so you'll have double of all of these buffs and debuffs. There are 2 main mystic codes that we'll be using. The first is the Mage's Association uniform. Its main use is the second skill, which gives a 20% NP charge. And the card shuffle is also good for the last wave in case you get unlucky cards and need a crit. Leveling doesn't help these 2 skills at all, so level 1 is fine. The next one is the Chaldea combat uniform, aka the plug suit. This is used if an extra servant is needed, and you'll usually start with the extra servant and then swap for Skadi on turn 1. Leveling helps the 1-turn attack boost strength, so you'll want this one at a high level if you can. Half Refund is the most common 3-turn Skadi strategy. The goal is to get at least 39% NP gauge refund from your NP. This is because Fate Weaver will give you an extra plus 10% at level 10, bringing you to 49%, and then next turn, when Skadi gives a 50% charge, you'll get to 99%, which the game automatically rounds to 100%. Common craft essences include the Max Limit Broken Kaleidoscope, the regular Kaleidoscope, or a 50% charge CE with or without NP generation buffs. You'll use any mystic code for the Max Limit Broken Kaleidoscope, generally a high damage boost mystic code, and then the Mage's Association uniform for the regular Kaleidoscope for the initial 20% charge. And for the others, you'll want to use a plug suit with waiver for the initial 50% charge requirement. It's very possible for the Valkyries to go from 0 to 100% NP gauge using just their NP and Fate Weaver. This is what I call full refund. I was surprised that I couldn't find much online about full refund strats, so I made my own. So why would you want to use full refund? First of all, it's really fun to use your NP back to back without using a skill in between. But more importantly, you don't need waiver or a kaleidoscope. An MLB Divine Banquet, which is a 4-star CE, is one of the better CEs for full refund. Unfortunately, full refund's only really viable against medium HP casters and archers. The goal is to get 89% NP gauge from your NP, for the same reasons as half refund. Fate Weaver will get us to 99%, and then the game rounds that 99% to 100%. My comp uses Plug Suit Paracelsus. His Strengthened Skill 3 gives a 50% generation buff, NP generation buff at max, and the other skills are not important. The Valkyrie team usually has no NP generation buffs, so because of how buffs work, his NP generation buff will be really strong. You want to start with Paracelsus and then swap turn 1 after using his skill 3 on Valkyrie. NP generation CEs are great for full refund. MLB Cute Orange Jet, if you have it, seems to be the best for the first 2 waves. Black Grail has the highest turn 3 damage, but doesn't provide NP generation, so it's bad for the first 2 waves. MLB Divine Banquet is a really good CE to use, and it's good enough for the 40 AP Treasure Vault quests if you want to do those for QP. Now I'll go over how to read the tables. I'm in the 40 AP Treasure Vault quest, and I want to know if I can get full refund from this wave. First, I bring up the full refund table. I'm using a level 13 MLB Divine Banquet, and I'm against casters. The main number is 24,352. So what does this mean? Against enemies at or below these main numbers, you're guaranteed to gain 39% or 89% from your NP depending on which table you're using. I used the minimum random modifier and assumed the enemy has the man attribute to calculate these values. You might get about 20% better damage in an actual run, but it's unreliable, and you need reliability for farming. Keep in mind this is not the actual damage you'll do against the enemies. For enemies above these numbers, you might kill them, but you aren't guaranteed to get enough NP refund. This is why Black Grail is not great, although it does a lot of damage. I talked about the main numbers, and now you might be wondering about the numbers in parentheses. These are the number of overkill hits required for each enemy to get enough NP refund. You can ignore this number if you just want the first 2 wave numbers, but using this chart, you can calculate the actual damage you do, which helps for the last turn when you just care about damage. That's it for reading the tables. Now I'll go over 2 examples. In this one, my MLB Holy Knight Supper is level 67. The chart for MLB level 100 Holy Knight Supper against Berserkers says 43,024. This means Valkyrie might not loop from this, and I need to lower the enemy's HP somehow. I chose to use a Skadi card to lower one of them, and I'm hoping the extra overkill hits will compensate for the other guy's high HP. I could have alternatively used a defense down, but I want to save it for the last wave if possible. Valkyrie ends up getting 40%, which is 1% more than they need. This last example shows what can happen if you have underleveled skills. Notice Valkyrie's skill 1 and Paracelsus' skill 3 are underleveled. I went into this wave thinking that since the full refund Cute Orangette Saber value is 4,936 and the enemies have 3,838 HP, I would be fine. But Valkyrie got 87% NP refund, which is 2% less than they needed. It turns out my underleveled skills made Valkyrie need an extra overkill hit that they didn't get, and then they couldn't NP on turn 3. But for most values, having skills a bit underleveled isn't a problem. That's all I have to say. Thanks for watching. If I made any mistakes in the table or video, or if you're confused, or if you want me to add something to a table, or anything really, leave a comment below and I'll respond. I hope you have a great day. Bye!